where we will be discussing on this particular theme. And before I invite Dr. Pallavi Kiran to speak on this topic, let me put a brief bio note of our speaker. Dr. Pallavi Kiran is an assistant professor of English at the School of Humanities, HIT University, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. She teaches professional and business communication courses in the Bachelor of Technology program. She holds a PhD and MPhil in English literature from ISM IIT Dhanbad. She previously taught at Birsa Institute of Technology, Sindri, Dhanbad. And her research work focuses on Indian English poetry and translation studies. She has participated in different language learning and translation programs. She has authored her research papers that are published in journals of high repute. Besides presenting her articles in several conferences, she composes poetry in English and Hindustani. She also reads them at different poetry reading sessions. Her published poems are available online and in print journals as well. I welcome Dr. Pallavi Kiran to now speak out on the topic.
Thank you so much, Dr. Riyad and Dr. Manoj. I mean, I'm extremely glad coming back to hometown and coming back to college, which is completely new. To be honest, when Manoj sir approached, I went to his profile and checked on the university first because I being from Jharkhand, I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
I mean, please
Please
bear with
continue.
the background noise because of the inverter connection and everything. Anyways, so Arka Jain University was totally new to me. I mean, before accepting the offer, I just checked on the university and I was happy to see that the university has a proper research department. This is the first time I believe I am seeing a department completely focused, especially in Jharkhand. We are living in a place. I have been born and brought up completely here in Jharkhand. I know the syllabus, the universities. I have been associated with them. So having a research department, it's a big achievement in itself. So I am really grateful to your university, the host university, for focusing the research, proper platform for research for our students, because after the students graduate from English degree, they simply they vanish, they simply vanish. They I mean, hardly one or two turns up for research. Or after MA program, they think, okay, we need to shift to other discipline because MA program is not going to give us anything, that it cannot be taken as a career. So this department is doing simply great. I'm thankful to everyone, the coordinators, the convener. Thank you so much. Sir, with your permission,
Yeah,
if
ma'am, please.
you can allow me to present.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before I present, I have few disclaimer for my students here. The very few, basic disclaimers, which is just because we are, having a very short session, like 1.5 uh, hours of session, I request everyone to pay attention. Number two is, please don't expect to cover up everything, because the things that we are going to discuss here are a huge discipline in itself. I mean, we really cannot expect to touch upon everything within this 1 hour of session. Yeah. Now the next thing, the next disclaimer is, just because, just let me know if my screen is presenting. Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, ma'am. Kindly enlarge it.
Yes. Okay. So I was telling that, just because this is a very vast discipline, everything that we have mentioned here, okay, is a huge discipline in itself. So touching upon everything will not be possible. with an assumption that our students from graduation or post graduation and the research scholars might be knowing the very basic meaning of the terms used here. Clear? I have framed the PPT. Next disclaimer is I have brought the understanding of research in literature to a very basic or zero level, so that see, whenever we talk about research, we have a notion that it would be very a big term, a term which would uh, try or which would compel you to put your all your head and heart into it. Yeah, yes it is, but under when you try to understand research, it has to come down to the very basics. So I have tried my best to do that, and with your permission, i'll just begin I'll begin with few skepticisms in this field. Yeah, I don't know how many of you have encountered such problems, because I have faced this most of the time. I come from a technological based institute, IIT ISM Dhanbad, which is known for its mining, research in science discipline. Clear? So every time, I was asked with a question: is there a research in English literature in a institute which is offering science courses? This is a very big question. Clear? And even if it is offering, clear, what is the scope for research in English literature? This was a very big question, and the moment you get this question, you start questioning yourself, your degree. Okay. Next is, what research is conducted in English literature? I mean, what do you people do actually? I mean, you just keep on reading novels, you just keep on reading poetry, drama, you watch films. What sort of research is that? So this is very obvious questions that people coming from science discipline or scientific disciplines have. Okay, I'm very sorry. Okay. Next is there any significance of conducting a research in English literature? I don't know how many of us, can answer this question to people who ask this question, clear? But we do have significance of all the research that are carried under English literature. We really cannot, ignore the fact that the research in English literature are not as worthy as the science research. Okay. Next is, do all research in English literature revolves around Shakespeare and his work? The moment you tell your friends from other discipline that you are pursuing English literature, all they know about English literature is it is about Shakespeare and his plays and his works. So whatever research you might be conducting, you must be, working on something which is done by Shakespeare, or something of the other written by Shakespeare. Clear? These are some skepticisms, we might have faced this, everyone. Next, the very logical, I see this logical, because we don't have labs and everything, so we keep on getting these questions: what kind of research will it be when the researcher isn't wearing lab coats and testing with the test tubes? I mean, you simply cannot answer these questions. Clear? I mean, only people working in the labs are conducting research. Is that the notion we have for research in English literature? Or only when we test with the test tubes, or we go for the experiments, is that only research? I mean, the scientific research, or we can term the scientific research as the only research? No, it's not that. Okay, apart from these skepticisms that I have talked, these are very basics, and I am sure many of us might have encountered this. Okay, next is, what are the misconceptions the students even have? you know Most of the students, when they take admission, when they're admitted to English literature course, they have some misconceptions. First is the impression that there is neither research method nor methodology for literary research. I mean, what sort of research will be there for for a poem written by anyone? Yeah, or a play, or a theater, or a movie. Yeah, they simply think that okay, we have completed the course, we have cleared our semesters, we have scored a good marks, a good percentage of marks. That's all clear. Next, they think is getting admission into an MA course or picking up any job, any job related to any field. Clear? They never focus on that. They should take up a career in English literature, and it offers a career, and it offers an extremely rich career compared to other disciplines. Okay, so this is one misconception even students have. Next is no idea as to what to do with text other than positively endorsing what is found in there. Clear? Now, what is the notion? Whenever an assignment is given to students of English literature, clear, mostly we have received questions like give a critical appreciation of the work of Wordsworth, or write an essay on Indian poets or Indian writers, and most of the students simply end up copy pasting from Google. Okay, now the answers that are available on internet, the most of the answers, I mean, even we have read them on Google most of the time. So the answers are those are mentioned on Google. There they have a sort of endorsing something about the poet, the author, or their work, the positive things. It says that it is critically appreciating, clear, but that criticism, or that critical point is somewhere diminished. It's only appreciation there. Keeps on telling it's very good, it is very lively written, the images are very good, and so on. Yeah. So what happens when the students read those answers, when they somehow pick up that language, they kind of set a notion in their head that research in English literature would be only talking about the positives that is found in the literary work. Yeah, my dear students, it's not that. Simply not that. I mean, from the exam perspective or answering the questions, that would be acceptable, but research does not accept that. Okay, to certain extent it can be accepted depending upon what you're talking about, what your research is exactly about, but not always. Next, dominance of the notion of text-based research and textual analysis as the proper domain of English studies research. Now, most of the time, I happen to have my MPhil degree and my PhD degree from IIT ISM Dhanbad, and I also had friends from other universities who took admissions into PhD at the same time, and in MPhil also. Yeah, so we have seen that there was a very common notion between all the mentors of our times, or maybe previously our seniors also used to tell us that for conducting a project, I mean, if you know what MPhil is, we need to write a project, we need to write a short dissertation of like 100 pages. That's a project work. In MA, I don't know, it might have been incorporated now, but during our time it wasn't there. So we just graduated and post graduated with the degree, the courses that were mentioned. Clear? But with MPhil and PhD it was completely different. We had projects, we had to write down reports, and when we had to decide upon the topic on what to write, clear, most of the time we were suggested that just carry out a text-based research or textual analysis, where we are analyzing the style, the the social background of the poet or the author, or you're talking about the economic backgrounds, or talking about the literary period, and you're simply ending up writing 100 pages of report, and that was all. Yeah. But gradually we understood that it's again a limitation. Okay. It is not only about having a research, conducting a research in literature is simply not about a text based or textual analysis. It's more than that. Now I don't deny the fact that we were not read, we were not taught the literary criticisms. We were taught literary criticisms in our post graduations. We were taught, we were discussed we used to discuss the different text based on the literary criticism. But what happens is, we never we were not given lectures on how to implement these literary criticisms into writing, and that to writing by all by ourselves. It's completely different thing. When you're reading something, it's completely different. When you're writing something on your own, it's completely different. That too with all the equations of English literature, all the terms, all the literary criticism and everything, it's completely different. Okay. So these are some of the misconceptions we have in English literature, which somehow is fading away, which is very good. And when we have research departments, these are the uh, best part of a university, where these misconceptions are simply not taken into consideration anymore. They keep their students updated with the research methods, the research proposals, the mentors keep themselves updated and everything. Clear? Now, with the skepticism and the misconceptions, I stumbled upon a text given by Northrop Frye, the psychoanalyst. He says, it is clear that the arts do not stabilize the subject in the same way that science does. Obviously, science and arts are two different things. Come on, these misconceptions, these skepticism about English literature, research English literature, these are these are totally two different things. It does not stabilizes as the science does. The stabilizing subject of science is usually identified with reasons. We have facts and figures in science. We also have facts and figures in literature, but it is with linguistic studies, or other studies where facts and figures are mostly important. But with art form, particularly poetry, drama, prose, clear, it is more of imagination. Clear? So please understand, when you are being questioned what your research is in English literature, is it serving any purpose? Is it, contributing to something concrete? You should have an answer first. Clear? You should be in a position to answer that yes, it does, and it does in the same way as the science does. Clear? So this should be your answer, and please remove all your misconceptions, all your skepticisms, so that once you have confidence, you can easily take up research. Okay. Now, my total framework for this presentation will depend upon three things, rather four things, I should say. But I haven't talked about the fourth thing, because the fourth thing is again a totally different thing. It's a very important topic, which I believe should be taken in another session, which is publication in research, clear, and in English literature. That is uh, where we should be talking about the do's and don'ts of publication in the reputed journals. Clear? But my framework for this presentation is totally revolving about around three things, which is number one, research gap. How do you find research gap in English literature? Okay. Next is literary criticisms. I'll be talking about the new literary criticism that are added. Sir, please confirm if my slides are visible, because
Yeah, ma'am. It's visible. Please continue.
okay, okay. And then I'll be talking about research methods in the literature. Okay, so this is a Venn diagram that I've created. So it is about literary text. English literature is full of literary text. Literary text, includes everything which is related to poetry, the different genres, drama, prose, everything is considered here. Okay, so how do you find a research gap? What are the literary criticisms available and the new ones which are added, which are interdisciplinary and has more scope for research? I'll be talking about that. And then the research methods, again the new research methods that have come up, and it would be easy for our students to pick up easily. Next, okay, when you move out of your college, out of your bachelor's degree, you or your master's degree, clear, and you happen to decide, chalo theek hai, let's take up research. Let us see what we have to do in research. Okay, so okay, you have decided to take up research, but please keep three things in mind. Okay, do the homework. The homework before taking up research is that you should know the three very basic thing of conducting a research. Now research, what is research? It's finding something new. Clear? Something of the existing, something new in the existing literature, or developing something new of your completely on your own. Okay, so there are three simple ways of exploring research sphere in English literature or in general. I mean, just because we have students from independent disciplines also, clear, you should keep in mind, because this is where we start from in research. When you need to understand what you are going to do, what is your task, the basic task, what is your basic task in research, you should remember three simple ways. Number one is find an article about the work and disagree with it. Clear? Suppose you have decided to conduct a research in poetry. Yeah, pick up a article in poetry, read that article. In the first go of reading you're not going to understand anything. Give it to second reading, third reading, and then try to disagree with it. Okay, find out what are the things you can understand and what are the things you cannot understand. Yeah, with the negation point, the negation side, you can disagree with it. Okay, next is find an article that you agree with and expand the author's opinion. Now, most of the time, what happens is, if I believe that poetry written in Hindustani is something not given its due credit till date, clear, and I have read article by a poet or a writer coming from a different state or different country, clear, I would expand his opinion. I second your opinion. This is what has done. I'll put up my own viewpoints on this, and then I'll expand the author's opinion, or the same will be done from the other side also. Okay. The third would be come up with a completely new idea. Okay, I would say that Hindustani, just because it has different kind of dialects, different it's a hybrid language. It's not pure Hindi, it's not pure Urdu, it's not pure khadi boli, or it's the mix of so many things, and the way it has changed with the due course of time. I'll come up with a new idea that can I call it an language which is very close to people, or is it a colloquial language now? Clear? Is writing poetry in colloquial language acceptable? Clear? So the ideas completely new. Okay, so these are the very three basics of exploring research, where in case if you have simply no idea where to start from, yeah, in case if you don't know, just you have just go admitted yourself. Most of the time students come up with this, sir, ma'am, I completely have no idea, just because I wanted to explore more in research, I have come in. And then when we ask them question, do you know what research is, they say nothing. Clear? They don't have an answer, they go blank. Clear? When we ask them, do you have any concept of literary criticisms, or have you read any articles, they again go blank. Okay, so the best way is, this is what we instruct our students: ki go find article on the work you want to work on, clear, try to disagree with it, or try to expand the author's opinion, or come up with a completely new idea. Yeah, so remember these three simple ways. Next, remember, literary research has some objectives. Clear? And this will help you answer all those skepticisms that I have put in my first slide. The very first slide that I have, the second slide, sorry, that I have put in, where your friends from different disciplines are asking you questions. Now, when you know the objectives of literary research, you can simply answer there. Okay. It is an extensive study of original text of the selected literary work. Clear? You can go for an intensive study. Clear? Take up every aspect of an original text, and deconstruct it. Go for textual analysis, everything. Clear? And then you can come up with a proper research, intensive research. Next, application of literary theory concepts to the selected literary works. You have literary criticisms, you have literary devices. Clear? And then with the application of those, you can come up with a research of in the selected literary works. In case if you want to work with poetry, with drama, prose, whatever you want to have, clear, you can simply apply that, and you can conduct a research. It is it is like, you have a formula for physics, and you apply that formula, you apply that equation to solve a problem in physics. Clear? It's as simple. It is as equal to solving a problem in physics. Clear? You simply apply those literary criticisms in literature, and you get your work done. Clear? But before you do that, you should have an understanding of that literary equation or the literary concept in your mind. Next, developing an understanding of literary criticism, literary creativity, literary research methods. Yeah, criticism is different, creativity is different, research method is different. Yeah, everything revolving around literary text. See, as I have mentioned here in things. Clear? Everything revolves around literary text. Clear? But having a understanding of what is literary criticism, literary creativity, and literary research is important. Yeah, they have thin line of difference, but they are different. Yeah, criticism, having a proper criticism. Now, criticism not always means criticizing negatively, or bringing it down, looking down upon it. No, it's not that. Clear? Critical. Having a critical thinking, why, how, when, clear, asking those questions will help you develop your critical thinking. Clear? Now, creativity, literary creativity is how you put your imagination into it. Clear? Suppose if a poem is written for 4 lines, can you add more to it? Include, with the application of your literary concepts. Clear? Or can you translate it? Yeah, can you compare it with other poems of the same genre or of the same poet? Yeah, that is called literary creativity. Now, literary research methods, how you're doing it. Yeah, what is your methodology of it? So what are the literary research methods? We'll be talking in the coming slides. Next is develop new theories, concept, tools for the study of unknown phenomena. Yeah. Now, most of the time, researchers simply stays away from not picking up uh, the work of developing new theories or concepts, because they think, if I develop that, will that be acceptable? Do I know enough? Do I have that knowledge where I can create a new theory, and that can be practiced by other people, that can be accepted by other people? How will I be in a position to explore or uncover an unknown phenomenon? Yeah, most of the time. And then what happens when you seize your imagination to this point? You simply don't come up with new ideas. You end up conducting research. I mean, you pick up research which are very common, the textual analysis, or I mean critical appreciation of any text or any author. That is where you end up your research. And when when you try to figure place in the research domain, you you lost somewhere, clear, because so much of work has been done in English literature particularly. I mean, the research is has a is an ocean. So if you just uh, just have a drop in that ocean, you will get lost. So to have have the courage to develop new concepts or tools, because all the people that we read, okay, all the theorists or all the linguists or all the literates that we read, clear, they have done that, clear. And it's our time now that we create one, because literature is what? Reflection of time, reflection of the culture. Now, even if we think that we cannot do it, let's just take up the research or PhD task and complete it. Let us just stay away from these difficulties or complex processes of research, clear. My dear students, you will be getting a degree, clear, you will get a job, but your research skill will not be developing at any stage. And in that case, if you will be working with your research scholars, I'm sorry to say, you will not be passing on any kind of knowledge to them. So please understand that it's a continuous process. The department that you are in, research department, this is what their motive is, clear, to help you know more and more of everything possible in research, clear. And then what suits you best, what you find interest in, clear, you pick up, and don't hesitate from developing new theories or concepts for the study of unknown phenomena. Okay. Next is literary criticism, significance, and its function. Please understand that we have literary criticisms have functions. Okay, we'll be talking about the literary criticisms later, but let me talk about the significance and function. To study literature in more depth than the traditional reader. Yeah. Now, literary criticism will help you to get into the depth of the work, the literary work. Okay, because at the graduation level, post graduation level, you're just a traditional reader. You're just reading off the text from the exam point of view. You don't delve into the depth of any of the work, and you try to find out why this happened, why Shakespeare had a climax in his in his uh, um, uh, sorry, in his plot, clear. Why did he come up with such dialogues, clear? But what is the concept, why this twist is there, why this complexities and relationships are there? You won't be able to understand those things, clear, because you'll be simply focusing on getting marks and completing of your semester. When you study literary criticism, clear, you understand that it is for touching those depths in the literary work, clear, and you stand apart from the traditional readers. Next, to explore and express shifts in sensibility that makes it possible to reevaluate literary works. There is a shift in sensibility, clear. To me, Shakespeare and his works are different. To you, Shakespeare and his works are different. To other people, it means different, and if I understand Shakespeare in one way, you understand it in another way. You like his plays, I like his dramas. Yeah, those are simple things, and there is a continuous shift in sensibility. Yeah, every time students or anyone picking up literature, the literature will mean different to them, and they will perceive the entire communication, the literary communication, in a different way, clear. And when this literary communication is different every time, clear, we reevaluate the literary work. Okay, we reevaluate every time. The story never hits us the same way it has done in the first reading. Yeah, so it goes the same way. This is what literary criticism helps us in finding our research interest. Okay, now narrow the topic to specificity. Okay, now if you are not understanding literary criticism in English literature, you will be here on the surface. Clear? You will be neither above the surface, you will neither be below, going deep into the surface. Yeah. So what you need to do is you need to narrow down your topic first of all. From your graduation onwards, you should understand what interest do you have. Do you have interest in poetry? Do you have interest in drama? Do fictions interest you? Do you find those different genres of novels interesting? Whatever it is, clear. You should narrow down your choice first, research choice first, and then in that choice, what exactly you want to study. Clear? Because there is a misconception that people studying research or conducting research is knowing everything in the world. Clear? Or a person holding a PhD degree knows everything in the world. No, they know more and more of one thing. Clear? Research is knowing more and more of one thing. Clear? So you need to narrow down the topic and bring the specific details out of it. Clear? Now, when you understand these 4 points, clear, you are at a position to create a thirst for art in the public. Yeah, because if you see, we are living in a digital world, and literary work has been confined to posting few poems on your Facebook or on your Instagram story line, or your WhatsApp story line. That's all. Yeah, it's, I mean, but literature is more than that. Yeah, it's more than writing four liners for your Facebook page. Where, clear? Or your Instagram page, or or different writing apps that you have. It's more than that. Yeah, because this thirst for art should continue. It has come down to you from your ancestors, or from the people who have carried, and it is now your responsibility to carry it forward. Clear? So until and unless you understand that this research is the only way to create this thirst, you cannot have a proper research interest in you. Okay, next, how do we develop a research gap? I hope I am clear with the literary criticism. I will be talking about the different literary criticism in the next slide after research gap. Clear? But these are the simple functions. Please understand. In case if you don't know why you are studying English literature, clear, what benefit you will have from English literature, or how it is going to bring about a change in you. Clear? This is how it will do. Okay, next, develop a research gap. First of all, understand, every research focuses on a research gap. Research gap means there is something which has not been talked about. Okay, I mean, it might have talked about in a very small amount. Clear? But it couldn't touch the larger picture of it. Clear? So you are exploring that. I mean, the research area is unexplored, or remains, or remained underexplored. Clear? And those areas, unexplored areas or underexplored areas, have scope for further research. Yeah. If I say, as I said, Hindustani language is not considered as one of the languages, as one of the genres of Indian literature. Clear? I hint at that it has scope for further research. Okay, I claim that these are underexplored, or unexplored areas in poetry. Okay, now Hindustani becomes my specific topic. Clear? Talking about its developing it as a independent genre, again, is the specific thing about. Clear? So this is how I feel focus on the research gap. Yeah. Next is, there is no well defined process to find a gap in existing knowledge. Yeah. uh, you have to develop this all by yourself. The more you read, clear, the more critical papers that you read, the journal articles you read, you will develop a skill of identifying the research gap. Yeah. But there is no well defined process. I mean, most of the time when we teach students about research gap, they come up with question ki ma'am, please share the notes and also recommend some books for learning this research gap. But it's one topic under research methodology, but it's important. It's a skill to be developed by all the individuals interested in research. Okay. Next, look for the gap with your curiosity, creativity, imagination, and judgment. Yeah, judgment is important. You need to judge whether it is going to serve something good for you or not, whether it has literary values or not. Yeah, it has to be judged first. Yeah, and creativity, imagination, curiosity goes hand in hand with literature. Yeah, a student of literature is synonymous with curiosity, creativity, and imagination. Clear? Next. Don Davis, professor of Columbia University, states that read what is being written in your field. Yeah, I mean, if in case if you want to develop research gap, this is what he states in this connection. Read what is being written in your field. Field is, your research field in which you are interested. Recognize the contribution that have come in the prior literature, but do not be awed by them. Question everything. Yeah? In case if you are reading, please don't say just be in a state that okay, so much has been written, so good has been written about it. Yeah, I have nothing to add to it. Yeah, or why should I question it when people are accepting this, when a journal, a reputed journal has already published the thing? Why should I question this? Yeah, that should not be there. Yeah, in research you should be questioning everything. Question everything. Yeah, and reading what is written in your research field will help you develop your research gap. Now, in case we have moved from a physical world to virtual world, and hardly we get an access to library. Yeah, and we know our students, they don't find after the exploration of or the development of digital world, internet world. Here we have simply moved out of libraries. Yeah, or we can say the libraries have shifted to our screens. Okay, so where you can find articles, essays related to your research, clear, or how you're going to read them. These are a few research databases, research journal databases that I have found for you. They are free. You can simply create an account on them. Clear. Core from UK based research.net. Again, you can create a free account. Ethos and SSRN, you can again create an account there, and you can search. Just write the word, clear, your keywords. Say for example, poetry translation is your research field. Clear. Just type poetry translation on the research part and click on it, and you will get all the research papers related to your topic. Clear. You can download them, you can read their you have an free access to them. You can simply download their papers, download one by one, read them, put I mean comments on the papers, save it to your screens, and then keep on making notes for it, so that you can research, you can develop your research gap. Yeah, these are four few. And in case if the university the library of your university gives you an access to the licensed versions, or the uh, I mean databases like JSTORs or Academia. Academia to certain extents are free, and you can also create your account there. Yeah. But in case if your library gives you access to all these journal database, you should have an access to find papers there. Yeah. Next. Once you have downloaded your paper and you are reading them, try to find answers for all these questions. Yeah, I happened to stumble upon article written by Fatima Qureshi. Clear, she is a junior content writer and editor, Edit Edge Insights. Clear, and her essay is titled "Don't Know Where to Start." Clear, in research, when you simply don't know where to start, yeah, follow the following steps. I mean, the previous steps uh, described or demonstrated here. Yeah, and while you are reading, answer these questions. I mean, try to find answers for these questions or question the work that you are reading. Yeah, what is the significance of this research to my work or the broader field? Yeah, if it is related to poetry translation, what significance does it have? Yeah, is it having a broader field, or my study will be limited to a small area only? Clear? How can this article help me formulate my research questions? It's very important. Yeah, how do you formulate your research question? If I need to answer why Hindustani poetry has not been developed as a proper genre, clear, I have to read enough articles so that I can formulate my research question. This is also called problem statement in research. Next is, does the author's argument requires more clarification? This is to the second point that I said. You download a paper and agree to the author's point of view. Clear? What issues or questions has the author not addressed? You are disagreeing with the author. Clear? Next is there a different perspective that I can consider developing a new phenomenon, a new theory? Yeah. What other factors could have influenced the results? Okay, again, bringing your creativity in, bringing your curiosity in. Clear? Are the methods or procedures used outdated or no longer considered valid in your field? Is there scope for you to test the findings using more of a current approach? I'm sorry for the typo here. Clear? So find answers for this. I mean, she has simply summed up all the queries that one should have while they are, having a proper research mind. Yeah, every time that you read, you should develop your research mind in this way. Yeah. Manoj sir, please let me know if I'm crossing my time. I'm really sorry, I'm not keeping an eye on the time.
Yeah, please continue, ma'am.
Okay. Next, types of literary analysis. Okay, I have two sides here. Yeah, which I believe are the two distinct sides, because one has created enough literature, yeah, enough research in the English literature. One, the other side are the new methods for the analysis of English literature. Yeah. Now, archetypal criticism, cultural criticism, feminist criticism, Marxist criticism, new criticism, or we also call it formalism, new historicism, structuralism, semiotics, post-structuralism, deconstructions. I hope these are all read by you. If I go on into deep into this, or if I go on explaining one by one, that would take enough time. So let me just focus on the other side, because this is what is very interesting, very interesting. I mean, at least for me, it's very interesting, because uh, now the kind of literature we need to create, clear, the research environment that we need to create should be based on these kind of analysis. Clear? The psychoanalytic criticism, we need to analyze, we need to develop what is the psychology says. Yeah, what are the thought processes of the writer or the people reading it out. Yeah, so psychoanalytic criticism is on top. I can say we have, if you go on the research database, I mean thesis database, which are available for Indian universities or from other universities also, you will find most of the researches are conducted keeping in mind the literary term, I mean the literary criticism of psychoanalytic. Yeah. Next is reader response criticism. This is again, this has a method of qualitative and quantitative method, or at times has a mixed method, mixed method approach to the text. Yeah, where the focus is totally on the reader, how the reader is, interpreting the text. A kind of survey is created, questionnaires are set, clear responses are recorded, and then based on the responses, a criticism is, the work is criticized. Clear. So reader response criticism is very new, and is, creating very concrete research conclusions or research products, I should say. Yeah. Next is gender cure study. We also call it cure study because, uh, you know, literature, when it is created, it has two mindset, male and female both. Yeah. And now we also have transgenders coming in, so we also have, another mindset from that angle. So when we study about these perspective, male female perspective in literature, clear, that analysis gives you a different kind of research. Okay, I mean, basically, literature is understanding the emotions, or trying to understand what is going inside one person, anyone writing or creating literature. Clear. That is what we need to understand, because somewhere we need to relate ourselves, we need to have a relation, we need to establish a relation with their work, and it touches upon, some point of our life. Clear. So having these analysis from, gender perspective, male female perspective, is again a very dominant, or I can say a very interesting literary analysis, or a literary method, which can be, can be developed by our researchers. Clear. Next is comparative criticism. Again, a very interesting and very vast scope for publication. Also, I mean, publication is totally a different thing. As I said, I won't be discussing on that, but we have seen how comparisons of, novel and the movies, or songs and the poems, or we can say, the adaptations, the complete imitations, these are all studied under comparative criticism. Yeah. Because, if we see in some genres, like in novels particularly, I can say, there are very few new ideas coming in. It is mostly, most of the novels are have a basic or a common storyline, and things keep on moving in the same direction. Yeah. So maybe the dialogue technique is different, or creating climax is different, but the storyline remains the same. So having a comparative study there, which it not only compares the text, but it comes up with a new product. Yeah. The comparison that you carry in your research, yeah, you develop a new work there. Clear. That is again a very interesting way of carrying out a research. Next is critical disability studies. Now, studies related to people with disabilities have come up recently. Clear. That was not much. I mean, that was not much talk of the town in literature environment, or in, research environment earlier, but it has come up very new, because of, the movies that we have in the Bollywood movies. If in case, if you can relate to the movie like Burfi, the movie like Tare Zameen Pe, Clear, which talks about the different disabilities people have, or the students have, or the children have in movies there. That is, basically, uh, I mean, confined to children only, but it's not only always children. It can be adults also. Clear. So the disability studies again is a new field. Yeah. Now, very new is memory studies. I don't know. I mean, for me, it might be a very new memory studies in IIT Madras recently. A professor has developed a full-fledged database for memory studies, and he is Abhishek Puri, I guess. He is there on I mean LinkedIn, and I happened to visit his workshops. He conducted a workshop on memory studies, clear, which talks about how memory is used as a tool for literary creation, clear. This again is a very good way of analyzing the literary text. Next is media criticism. Now, media criticism, we are all surrounded by, media, different kind of media, creative writing, the journalism, the internet, the news, clear, the news analysis, blogging, the blogs written, clear, so many things. So how do criticize? How do you create a criticism? Literary criticism is created. This again is a very new way of exploring things in literature. Okay, so in case if you have developed, I mean, once you have decided which genre you need to work on, clear, once you have understanding of literary criticism, what types of literary analysis you need to create, clear, applying these literary analysis, you can create your research gap. Moving on to next, the research methods that we have, clear. We have textual analysis, as I said, it was very basic. I mean, research in English literature began with textual analysis, clear. And then most of your assignments in your graduations and post graduations are based on textual analysis only, clear. And to certain extent, the uh, what to say, your MA project works are also based on textual analysis, but please do not take up research, I mean your PhD research, your doctoral research in textual analysis, because enough work has been done. And please explore what are the new areas of research in literature, clear. Next is discourse analysis, where you know analyze the language in the oral or written form, and and then you understand that it's not only one meaning, clear, it has different meaning, and it means different to different people in different contexts, and that's how you have an analysis of and how you analyze the discourse, clear. Next is interviewing. You carry out different interviews, and you carry out different video sessions with the author or with the poet, and then you carry out your research with their statements given, with their thought processes there, clear. Next is autobiographical methods. I mean, the research methods that I have listed out here are not only limited to this 5 or 10 things that I have written out. No, it's not that. It's more. You can also explore your things your way, because it is good that you keep yourself updated, and your mentors can obviously help you in this. Okay, so autobiography and the biographical way are one way of conducting a research. You talk about the cultural and the economic background, the social background of the author, and you carry out methods there, how it influenced their work, clear. Next is visual methods. This is again very interesting. The graphic novels comes under this. You can analyze the graphic novels under this. The movies with their subtitles and everything can be analyzed under visual methods. Next is creative writing, with different kinds of creative works, like creating poetry, short poems, novellas, novels, clear. Those kind of research works, if you take up research methods, if you take up, that will be very interesting, and that would contribute to pure literature. Next is oral history. When we dig into history with the oral methods, clear, that research method helps us in uh, giving a concrete form to literature. And oral history, particularly in India, is very rich, and this has a huge, enormous scope for research. Next is archival method. Archival method is digitizations of text, digitizations of work of different literary canons, clear, and then understanding their work. Next is ICT method, is nothing but digital humanities, clear. the digitization in humanities, or the digital tools that we use in conducting research in literature or in any field, yeah, that are called ICT methods. Okay, these are not limited to this. Please mind my words. These are not limited to this. There are many methods, clear research methods, as said in his introduction, that the research methods for different disciplines are different. So these are some of the popular research methods in our in our literary uh, area. I'm sorry for the typo there, the spelling of research. Anyways, next is, now once you have a proper understanding of the literary text, how to develop the research gap, how to apply the literary criticism, define your topic as a focused research question. Now, topic is very important again in research, because you simply cannot begin your work with a vague or a broader topic. As I said, you need to narrow it down. So if you simply say, I need to conduct a research in poetry translation, clear, I cannot simply begin with it. I need to narrow it down. So when I say, Gulzar's poetry in translation, a pragmatic study in literary communication, clear, this is how I narrow it down. I'm talking about poetry. Whose poetry? So Gulzar's poetry in translation. Okay, what am I doing? I'm doing the pragmatic study of the literary communication. So I'm bringing it down. Research, as I said, need to bring it down, bring it to very specific things you need to take, because until unless you have a focused research thing, you would be talking about so many things. You'd be putting up so many ideas into your work, and then that will not give you your desired result. Okay, so here are some of the samples that I have picked up from different journals. This is how, when you search for topics in your research field, you will get titles like this. The papers, the research papers will be titled like this. Okay, a new woman in Anita Nayar's The Better Man, economic development, independent new woman in Shobha Day's novels, autobiography as genre, a critical study, revisiting the Mahabharata, Arun Kolatkar's Sarpa Satra, William Butler Yeats, the master of symbols, literature's role in increasing awareness of love tragedy's effect on the human spirit. Okay, so these are some of the topics you will be seeing. Now, this is the end, but you know what? You need to be aware of two things. When you are starting your research, you should be aware of the first thing, which is, please do not fall into the trap of spending too much time summarizing the literature being analyzed, as opposed to critiquing it. Clear? What my point is, my point here is, when we pick up literature, or when we pick up research in literature, when we have to read a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's all about reading lengthy novels, lengthy essays, difficult languages and everything. So at one point of time, what we do is, we simply stop using our brain and we start paraphrasing. Yeah, and we shift from our motive of criticizing the work, or having a critical angle, or adding a critical angle to it. Yeah, so mostly, I mean, this is what happened to me as well. I mean, when we were writing our thesis, and my mentor used to correct our chapters, this is what they said: you need to understand where you need not to summarize, or you are just adding your your summary of the text that you have read. That's not research. Yeah, until unless you bring out a critical angle to it. Yeah, until unless you criticize it in a positive way, you add your objective interpretation to the text that you are analyzing. Clear? That will not add to research. Clear? Most of the time, the kind of papers that we get to review from different journals, or even us, when I mean, if we read our own papers that we have written during our early days, clear, This is what we have done most of the time. Now we end up summarizing things. You end up writing the summary of the text, and critical angle to that work was missing, and we cannot simply call that a critical paper. Yeah, because that literary criticism is missing out there. So in literature, until and unless you understand the entire concept of literary criticism, clear, uh, bringing that out in your analysis would be difficult, and you can easily fall in trap of writing up summary of the text that you have studied. It's as simple as that, because when we used to sit with our mentors, they used to make us read those reviews written on the PhD thesis, and the reviews they used to write, give what are the problems in the research writing. Clear. So they have mentioned this, that the student need to understand that there is a very thin line of difference which they cross when they start writing after they have read a text for analyzing it. Clear. So please don't summarize, add critical angle to it, and that can be only done when you have a better understanding of literary criticism. Next is, your writing is for the members of a literary community who have read our work and have developed opinions about the work. Yeah. Now, please understand, when you'll be writing a piece of essay for your research, or your report for your research, clear, avoid adding too much of details which are already are already available, or are already known to people who will be reading it. Okay. So for example, if I go on explaining poetry, what is poetry, what is the definition of poetry, what are the literary devices of poetry, for like first 5 pages of my report, yeah, that is not research. Yeah, that is what I should have read, what I should have understood, clear, and then I should have pointed out those things in the analysis. Okay. Most of the time, in the assignments also, we see that when the students they write up, clear, when we ask them to write something, clear, they might not copy from the internet, but this is what they do. Clear. They pick up something, the definitions or something, and then they just put it. Yeah. And that they call that they have developed their opinion about it. There's no opinion. To be honest, there is simply no opinion. You are in a wrong notion that you're creating a research or conducting a research, but that's not clear, because you simply forget that the people who will be reading it out are learned people. They know the concepts and everything. Clear. The inside story of getting a paper reviewed when you submit for publication is that those are sent to people who are expert in their fields. Yeah. So when you tell them through your paper, this is what poetry is, this is what what's what has told about poetry, that makes no sense to them. Yeah. Then they need to see what new have you discovered, how you have discovered. Yeah. What is your thought process, what is your imagination, what is your creativity. They need to see that, and that is research all about in literature. Okay. So my it's already 6:20. Okay, my PPT stops here, clear. But let me tell you, as I said, there is another aspect to it. The other aspect is publication. Clear. When you are modeling research tools, clear, you also keep in mind the publication aspect. And as I said again, discussing about publication here within 15 slides is simply impossible. Yeah. And I have full trust that your research department is extremely extremely has have uh, I mean, well, experts in their fields who can teach you, or make you more aware of the publication things. Or, in next sessions, when we can have another time slot, we can discuss the publication thing. But modeling to research tools basically is, in English literature, is understanding literary criticism. Clear? So this is all about the literary criticism, sorry, modeling research tools in criticism,
So thank you so
English
much, ma'am.
literature.
Can we
Yes,
have some
thank you so
questions
much,
from our
sir.
audience?
Yes,
Uh,
please, sir, please. I really couldn't focus on the questions.
no,
So
I
should I
think,
read them?
okay, if you can read it, you
Okay,
can, but or we can also do it for you. Let me
okay.
look it out.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. I would love to answer them.
I think the first question is from Rohan Shandil, who is a research scholar. He's asked
Okay,
that, ma'am, can you please explain with example of developed new concepts, tools for study of unknown phenomena? Can we
okay.
mix two theories at a critical phase of text, and how to bring new concepts in a particular text as new novels like Amnesty by Adiga, where research is none?
Sir, I mean the question is too long. Can I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
it here on the screen so
Yeah,
that
I think it's in the
okay.
in-call message,
Yes,
ma'am.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rohan Sandil.
Explain, develop new concepts, tools for study of unknown phenomena. Can we mix two theories at critical phase of text and how to bring new concepts in a particular text as new novels like Amnesty by Adiga where research is none. Now, Rohan, when there is simply nothing, when the work has been not touched or not have been, academically addressed by anyone, you have all the, freedom to take it your way. Okay, number one. Number two is, academic attention is important. So when academically address from a research point of view, you can mix the critical theories. Obviously, say for example, if you begin with a cultural, if you consider Edigar's text, you can bring in the cultural notations there. You can talk about the language used. Okay, so in case if you want to bring in the new criticism, or you can you want to have a reader response theory. Yeah, you can obviously mix two theories at the critical phase of the text. Yeah, yes, you can do that. Yeah, you can take up some experts and you can get it read by get it analyzed by some of your friends as a form of questionnaire or kind of survey. You can obviously do that. Yeah, because once you know that you have an area to explore, and then you can easily do that. Clear? You can go for it, but remember the intention or the motive. Clear? In case if you have a motive of achieving a desired result with the mix of two things. Okay, even as I said, in research methods also we have a mixed method approach, qualitative and quantitative, we mix together to get a particular uh, response. Okay, or a particular result in research. You can definitely go for it. Clear? And when the research is none, obviously you can develop, you can show the world. As I said, you can create a thirst for the art in public. Yeah, you can obviously do that. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. But a quick question that after reading the text for twice, I found it that there are new concepts available in amnesty like human rights by Gayatri
Mhm.
Sipak, but
Mhm.
I am not able to associate with my topic. Like my thesis topic is Foucauldian interpretation of Homo economics in the novel of Arvind Adiga. So that
Okay.
new concept, I am not able to associate with it.
So are you focusing only on this homeo relation? I mean, human relation things, or you are trying to bring in, as you said that you're trying to mix two theories
Yes, ma'am.
together. What
I'm
what
trying to
exactly?
bring, yeah, I'm trying to bring Foucault and Homo economics also, and the different traits
Okay.
of Homo economics is there. Like, probably I'm doing a research on that, like Homo duplex. Like Homo duplex
Hmm.
is a person who is a bit rational, who is in a place, in a situation, and doing two, three multiple
Hmm.
things. But
Exactly.
yeah, but what you said is absolutely right that the freedom should be there when no one has touched it. But even
Mhm.
after reading it and going into the deep of the text twice, I am not able to find new text which is getting associated with this.
Okay. In that case, can you bring in other literary criticism? I mean, can you think of other way of analyzing the text which can, solve your? I mean, which can be relatable to the problem? Uh, See, say for example, I haven't read the text by Adiga. I'm not very sure of this, but what I'm trying to suggest is, suppose you are already trying to bring in two theories together. Okay. Now, in case if that's not working, you're trying to put two equations together and you're trying to get one result. Yeah. So, can you try with some other literary criticism? Say, for example, if psychoanalysis can work there, or other things maybe. Can that work?
Okay, ma'am. I'll try and I'll see what it
Yes,
happens.
that is what you can really do, because in case if you are trying to bring in a very specific thing. I mean, as you say that you are trying to bring in the two theories together, and you're not getting that association done at certain point of time. Maybe that might have some link to another or to other literary criticisms also. Can you try those out? For example, when we don't get equations for solving a maths problem, we write some other methods. Just go for it. I'm not really very sure because I haven't read Adiga to be honest. And maybe psychoanalysis can work. I'm not really sure, but this is what I can say. And when this is totally not addressed by anyone, you really can go for a try.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rohan. So, any more
Yeah,
question?
I think one more question is there in the post now.
Okay.
Dr. Ishita Ghosh writes that literature is also about emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and emotions are personal, and perspective is also individualistic. So, in this
Yes.
background, how can we criticize someone's personal thoughts? My emotions are mine, and the author's emotions are theirs.
Very true. Very true. Uh, when we talk about subjectivity, and research is more of objectivity. Clear. uh, we need to understand that at certain point we need to have what to say, we need to keep our emotions aside and see what are their emotions, because we are not analyzing our interpretations. Clear. Say for example, when I'm studying, I'm sorry, I'm totally into poetry, so all my examples come from there only. Okay. So if I'm analyzing a poem written by Gulzar. Yeah. And it means something to me, the same poem means something else to say Manoj sir. Yeah. Now, my emotions are my emotions, Manoj sir's emotions are his emotions, and Gulzar sir's emotions are his emotions. So, uh, we can criticize, with different elements. Say, for example, say some images are meaning something different to me. Clear? I can tell ki this image to me is, in case if I'm talking about the image of moon. Clear? The image of moon is something different to me. Clear? The image of moon to the poet is something different. Clear? But what can be acceptable? Okay, what can be acceptable? I can give you a very good example where Gulzar sir has been criticized for a few of his images. Clear. हमने देखी है सॉरी क्या था वो अ, मैं बोल रही हूँ वो लाइन था. I'm sorry, I'm using these Hindi poems. This is um,
हमने देखी है उन आंखों की चमक.
आंखों की चमक. ठीक है. So he was criticized for this. He was very much criticized for bringing in these emotions. Clear. But that was acclaimed, that was that imagery was acclaimed. Okay. So people criticize, but when it's my emotion, it's my emotion. When it's emotion, it's his emotion. Clear. So when it comes to research, research has to be critical, has to be objective, keeping aside our subjective, approach to it, and then we come up with a critical appreciation of it.
Can I
Most of
can
the
I enter into this, ma'am?
time. Yes, sir. Please.
I think the meaning of the term criticism should be clarified at first. That criticism is nothing to negate anything.
Exactly.
We
This
do
is
not
what I said
negate
when
true
I was
criticism.
explaining.
Rather, we examine, we analyze, we bring out many more truths associated with any text.
Exactly.
In layman's language, people use it that you do not criticize me, or it should not be criticized. I mean, criticize or criticism is used with the sense or notion of negation or negativity, but that's not there in literature. In
In
criticism, we
literature or
try
in
to,
research particularly, sir,
yeah,
in research
yeah,
particularly, I mean, if in case if we keep on telling that we are criticizing, it's not that. It shouldn't be taken with a denotative meaning. It's more of
right, right.
connotative.
We rather add new lenses to the to observe or to see or to go into the deeper level of the text.
Exactly,
So
sir.
this is how we take criticism, and at
Mhm.
many times what happens through criticism, we check out such things which even the author could not understand or could not feel while he writes, because you
Exactly.
yourself, you are also
Hello, sir.
associated with writing, I mean creative writing,
Mhm.
and as I also compose sometimes, so we can feel that there are certain things which comes to our mind when those
Mhm.
things are pointed out by others. I mean, when the critics
Exactly.
point out that, okay, this is the angle or dimension which the author has given to the text, then we feel that, okay, so this is also a new angle which I might have given. I mean,
Mhm.
unknowingly. So this is how criticism works in, especially in literature when we
Exactly,
talk
sir.
about. Thank you so much
Exactly. Thank you
for
so much, sir. Do we have more
let me.
questions? I mean,
I don't think we.
Hello, sir.
If anyone feels, please feel free to mute, unmute and ask directly.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
yes.
Myself Kuldeep Singh from Jammu. Actually, my question is, ma'am, regarding research gap.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, ma'am, sometimes it's quite difficult to explore each and everything because suppose I'm going for a certain topic, like I'm choosing something which I want to explore. But the thing is that to find all the material, related to that topic is to finding that material is quite difficult. So can you suggest some, one or two websites where we can, access to.
Yes, Kuldeep, I'll just tell you, in my slide, I have already given the links. Wait a
You
minute,
give.
I'll copy it for you. I'll just
Yes,
copy
ma'am.
it for you in the chat box here. These are free journal database. Clear? You just need to create an account, free account, and you can get an access from all the papers related to your work. Okay, you don't
Okay.
find the text. The original texts are not available here. These are journal database where you can find the research papers. Okay, now for
Okay.
finding the original text or the digital archives, you will have to get an access to different libraries. Okay, I
Okay.
mean, the Indian university libraries of Indian universities or foreign universities, you will have to take the membership, and then only you can get an access to those archived. I mean, in case if you want the soft copy of the text. Okay, but in case if you want the research papers related to your research, these are some of the sites where you can easily download your papers from. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuldeep ji.
One more
And
question. One more question, ma'am. I'm sorry. One more
yeah,
question.
Yes,
Uh,
please,
that
please, please go ahead.
regarding research method, which are in English literature, methods we apply in English literature. So I think that most
Kuldeep,
of the
I
time.
really cannot, you know,
Hello. Yes, am I audible? Hello.
yes, you're audible. Your voice is just, not
yeah. Please
very clear.
repeat it once again.
My mm, hello.
Yeah,
My
please tell.
question. my question is related to research method in English literature. You know,
Yes.
most of the time in English literature, the research is qualitative, right? So
Uh-huh.
yes, ma'am. And I think that most of the time, we apply, there are limited methods, there are limited methods which we follow. So I want to know, ma'am, what are, because there is always that we are applying criticism, applying theory and reading text. So can you tell me, that what are the common methods which we usually apply,
Uh,
in
in
our
in
research?
case if you have followed, in case if you have followed my 11th slide, clear, I have talked about different types of literary analysis where I have given two tables. Clear, the one
Okay.
table suggested the analysis methods or the research methods which were very common, and the existing literature is full of researches conducted through those methods. Clear, and on the other side, I presented some of the, I mean, Manoj sir, I'll send the PPT to you. You can share with the
Yes,
participants.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So that those analysis, I talked about the memory study. I talked about the
Yes,
disability
ma'am.
study. I
Types of
talked
listening
about
analysis.
how
Types of listening
reader
analysis you talked about.
response theory. Yeah. Yes. So these are some of the. I mean, I don't say that these are very new. Clear, but they give very good research products. Yeah, or the research results are very good when you apply these literary criticisms. Clear, because they are adding very objective, how to say, objective analysis to the research. Okay, so depending upon the text, you simply cannot apply any literary criticism to any work. Yeah, so you need to identify what is your research topic, what you are doing, what you are expecting the research outcome to be, and then you pick up one literary criticism and then you apply to it. Kuldeep. Okay, so you just need to keep yourself updated with the literary methods that have that have come up or that are coming up, that are being developed, that are being explored day in and out. Yeah, and then you can apply them. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So
So, yes,
this was really a very nice talk,
thank you so much.
especially discussing on the different dimensions of research, in literature. I congratulate you, ma'am, from my behalf,
Thank you so much, sir.
and it was nice on many grounds. You talked about the misconceptions, you talked about the disagreements, you talked about reading as an important factor for literary research, which I would also suggest my research scholars to go for. And further, the most important thing what I found,
Sorry for interruption. Sorry
yeah,
for interruption. Those first three slides are what we exactly should be talking with our research scholars
right,
before we begin with,
right,
our
right.
research with them.
I do agree with you, ma'am. And one more important factor which I found was that we should now, go ahead of textual analysis, because literature is, no more only with emotions nowadays or with relations.
Nothing.
Rather,
Yes.
literature is about ecology. Literature is about oceanography. Literature is about, material sciences. Literature is about different science fiction genre. So, it has expanded its
Interdisciplinary.
horizon. It has,
Interdisciplinary, sir.
yeah. So that's why we need to apply different tools and approaches, including ICT and memory studies and many more things. So I really appreciate the way you took all the dimensions into consideration for the talk today. I thank you, ma'am, from my core of heart, and I now welcome for the formal vote of thanks, Professor Rajkumari Ghosh, the Departmental Head of English, Arka Jain University, to propose the vote of thanks from our behalf. Professor Rajkumari Ghosh.
Thank you, Manoj. Good evening, everyone. Madam, I really fall short of words to express my gratitude
Thank you
on
so much.
behalf of the department, the research department of Arka Jain University. I've been listening right from the beginning, and
Thank you so much.
step by step, the way you had been explaining. Because see, what is research? It's like diving deep to get something.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
when they dive deep, that it's dark, So they need a torch. So today, exactly, you have been that torch for the scholars, who have joined today's. I think they have inculcated a lot. I don't think so. It will create too much of problem while they proceed with their research work. Because one guidance is very important.
Very
And the
important.
way you explained today, it was really excellent. Excellent. I really
I'm
don't
all
know.
honored.
I
I'm
really
really
don't know.
honored. Thank you so much.
So we would love to have sessions of this type from your end again and again, because like, these will leave again, the fresh ones will come. So the
Exactly.
fresh ones won't know. They won't be helped by all that you have said today. So that is why we would love to have sessions of this type again and
Anytime,
again.
anytime. I would love to address the gathering.
So we are highly grateful to you for taking time from your busy schedule and coming and uh,
All
talking to the young scholars. I also express my gratitude to all the scholars who far away from Jamshedpur, they have joined, and I think all we are like privileged to have everything online nowadays.